like first of all to welcome all of you to this very important meeting. And I would like to recognize the presence of the ministers from Bahrain, Libya, Jordan, Egypt, Oman, Somalia, Sudan, and Yemen. Unfortunately, the Minister of Kuwait, that's the chairman of the Council of the Ministers of Water, could not be present due to the last moment problem in his country. I would like also to recognize the presence of several DGs and SGs of international organizations represented here today in this meeting. And I would like to take the opportunity to thank the hospitality of the League of Arab States for hosting us all here today. Let me start by saying that this conference shows the commitment of the Near East and North African countries, what we call the NENA region, to address the pressing issues of water and land management, food security and nutrition. In fact, countries in the NENA region have made great achievements in their long and continuous fight against water scarcity. The Gulf countries, for instance, are pioneers in the area of water desalination. Algeria, Morocco, Jordan, and Tunisia have undertaken great efforts on water harvesting. Egypt and Lebanon are advancing rapidly in relation to drip irrigation. There is also substantial progress being made on treated wastewater. Despite all this progress, NENA countries must continue to look for innovative practices to face the challenges ahead, which are becoming increasingly more complex. Population growth, rapid urbanization, increasing competition between sectors, and the impact of climate change are already putting more and more pressure on water availability. Climate change in particular already poses very serious threats. And agriculture will be the one of the hardest hit sectors. It will become more vulnerable to higher temperatures and a reduced growing season, be subject to more frequent and intense heat waves and increasing water stress. Sea level rise and salinization of aquifers are also expected. Flooding and increasing salinity of freshwater reserves may affect key producing areas in the region, such as the Nile Delta. Projections shows that the frequency of drought could increase up to 60% by the end of the century, compared to current levels. In fact, no other region has been as severely affected by desertification and water scarcity as the NENA region, mostly due to the unsustainable land use, soil erosion, sand and dust storms, deforestation, and rapid degradation of rangelands. Excellencies, it is our concerns of all of us the fact that food insecurity has increased by 15% in the NENA region last year, mainly due to the prolonged conflicts and the occurrence of extreme climatic events. There are still about 107 million rural people in the NENA region. Overall, 35 44% of the region's rural population is poor, what means 1 out of 3 people that are in the countryside are considered poor. Water scarcity strains more rural livelihoods, causing people to migrate to urban areas, compounding the challenge of rapid urbanization. As a result of water scarcity, the region's dependence on food imports is increasing. This dependence on food imports can contribute to a rise in overweight and obesity that is becoming a serious problem in all the region. Global food markets have increased accessibility of ultra-processed foods that is cheaper but is very caloric and energy dense, high in fats, sugar, and salt. In fact, a diet composed of local fresh food is often costlier than a diet of imported ultra-processed foods. Here in the NENA region, the proportion of obese adults is about 30%, according to the World Health Organization. In some countries of the region, it can reach almost 40% already. Countries will soon have to discuss some food trade regulations to address the import of unhealthy food in order to avoid the globalization of obesity that we are seeing nowadays. Ladies and gentlemen, it is fundamental to promote ways for increased food production using less water and use it more efficiently. Let me give you some examples. The choice of crop and types of animal raised, the irrigation technology employed, and the spatial distribution of production, all those can increase a more efficient use of water. Farmers and rural households should be at the center of the strategies to address water scarcity, not only to encourage them to adopt more efficient technology, but also to secure access to drinking water for rural households. This is vital for food security and improved nutrition. Reducing food loss and waste is also important in this region. It helps to preserve natural resources, especially fresh water, but also soils and agricultural land. All of these measures require intensive research, adequate infrastructure, and appropriate institutional framework. Besides all that, we also need new generation of policies and investments. Let me mention some areas for our work. First, it's important to establish interministerial coordination at country level to optimize complementarity between water, food, and trade policies. Second, we need to put in place mechanisms that reward farmers for more efficient use of water and sustainable use of soils. And third, we need to bring private sector on board, promoting public and private partnership. For that, we should invest more in strengthening the resilience of rural livelihoods and households. The water-food production nexus is critical in our fight against hunger and malnutrition. It is also important to remember that water scarcity does not always emanate from the physical lack of water. Many areas suffer from water scarcity due to the lack of investments. The FAO Regional Initiative on Water Scarcity for the NENA region, launched in 2013, has been supporting countries in tackling each of these challenges I mentioned. This event today is an excellent opportunity to receive feedback from you on the developments and results of this initiative, as well as to discuss innovative approach. I am confident that together we will be able to implement strategies to prevent water scarcity from setting us back in our ambitious vision to eradicate hunger and all forms of malnutrition, keep sustainable peace, and leaving no one behind. I thank you for your attention.